All right, so you want the inside scoop on Dutch Bros' latest earnings call.
You came to the right place.
We dove deep into their reports and transcripts and presentations.
All that good stuff.
Yeah. So buckle up for some seriously interesting insights.
Basically, we sat through it all, so you don't have to...
Exactly.
Hours of financial jargon.
And the mission of this deep dive is to answer those burning questions like,
Yeah, big ones.
can Dutch Bros keep up this incredible growth spurt?
Yeah, are they really connecting with customers or just riding a trend?
And what about food?
Yeah, everyone wants to know about the food.
Let's start with the big wins because, wow, Dutch Bros is absolutely crushing it financially.
Oh yeah, big time.
We're talking 28% revenue growth.
A 20% jump in Adjusted EBITDA year over year.
Okay, hold on a sec. For those of us who don't speak fluent finance,
Sure.
what does Adjusted EBITDA actually mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, I know it's good.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's basically a way to measure a company's core profitability, stripping away things like interest and taxes. So a 20% jump means they're making a lot more money from their core operations.
Got it. So it's not just about selling more coffee. It's about selling it in a way that's really profitable.
Exactly.
So they're making bank.
They are.
That 28% revenue growth, that translates to a whopping $338 million this quarter.
Which is way above even their own long-term goals.
That's impressive. So is this growth all about jacking up prices?
Mm.
Or are more people actually flocking to Dutch Bros?
Well, what's fascinating here is it's both.
Okay.
Higher prices are playing a role, but they're also seeing more customers coming through the doors.
Interesting.
That's a really good sign.
Yeah.
Because it shows people are willing to pay a premium for the Dutch Bros experience.
Yeah, it's like they've cracked the code on creating a brand that people genuinely love.
They have a very loyal following.
They opened 38 new shops this quarter and are on track for 150 this year.
Yeah, and get this. They're planning to accelerate to at least 160 in 2025.
That's a bold move.
Yeah, they're not slowing down.
Speaking of conquering new markets,
Yeah.
remember when everyone was worried that technology would mess up Dutch Bros' unique vibe?
Right? All the charm.
Well, 90% of their stores now offer mobile ordering.
And it's working.
Yeah, like a charm.
It really is.
It's really interesting how well they've integrated technology without losing that personal touch.
Right. And it's not just about convenience for existing fans.
Right.
It's actually attracting new customers, too. Over 1 million new Dutch Rewards signups in Q3.
Wow.
A record since the program launched.
1 million new rewards members. That's huge.
It's a lot of people.
So mobile ordering is bringing in new blood.
It is.
What's even more interesting is that those mobile orders are highest in the morning and for coffee drinks.
Which tells us something about their strategy.
Yeah.
This suggests that Dutch Bros is making serious headway in owning that morning routine, which has always been a key goal for them.
Yeah, they're trying to be the morning go-to.
Exactly. By making it easy and convenient to grab your morning coffee, they're weaving themselves into people's daily rituals.
I like that, weaving themselves into people's daily rituals.
Yeah, it's smart.
Smart move. Now let's talk about the big question on everyone's mind.
Food. Everybody wants to know about the food.
They've been testing food in just 6 stores so far. But it's clear they're seriously considering expanding their menu.
Oh yeah, they're serious about this.
Right now, food is under 2% of their sales. So the potential is huge.
Huge.
What's interesting is that Dutch Bros isn't just seeing food as a way to boost each order's value.
Right.
They think it'll get people to come in more often, especially in the mornings where they're traditionally weaker.
Makes sense. If you're already stopping for your coffee, why not grab a bite to eat too?
Right, but they're taking their time with this, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is a long-term play looking at 2026 and beyond.
Okay.
They want to get it right for both their customers and their employees.
The Broistas.
The Broistas.
Speaking of Broistas, Dutch Bros has over 400 people ready to run new markets.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
That's like a whole army of coffee enthusiasts ready to spread the Dutch Bros love.
What's really valuable here is the long tenure of these candidates, over 7 years on average.
Wow.
That tells us something about Dutch Bros' culture and their ability to retain talent, which is crucial for consistent growth because it means they have experienced people ready to step up and lead new locations.
And it's not just those 400. They've had over 400,000 job applications this year for around 11,000 openings.
So yeah, they're a hot commodity.
Clearly, Dutch Bros is a hot ticket right now.
They are.
But it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
They're facing some headwinds too.
There are always challenges.
What are they up against?
Well, labor costs are going up, especially in California where the minimum wage is rising, and they've also had some unexpected bumps in repair and maintenance costs this quarter, which can happen when you're growing as fast as they are.
Right, it's like growing pains for a business.
It is.
And they're still trying to build brand awareness in those new markets, right?
Exactly. They're spending more on advertising to tackle this, but it's a work in progress. This raises an important question. Can Dutch Bros maintain their local feel as they go national?
That is a great question.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to be both a hometown favorite and a national powerhouse at the same time.
It's a tough balance to strike.
Well, this is all really fascinating, but I think we need to take a deeper dive into those financial numbers to really understand the full picture of their success.
I agree. Let's break down those numbers and see what they reveal about the inner workings of Dutch Bros.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so let's get into some of the nitty-gritty of the financials.
Yeah, let's break it down.
One thing that really stood out to me was just how Dutch Bros approaches their financials. They're not just chasing revenue. They're
Right.
very laser-focused on profitability.
Which makes sense. You can grow all you want, but if you're not making money, it's not sustainable.
Exactly. And Dutch Bros is proving you can do both.
Okay.
They're expanding rapidly while delivering strong margins.
Yeah, so how does that play out like in the actual numbers?
Yeah, so let's look at their company-operated shops first.
Oh.
These are the ones they directly manage.
Got it.
In Q3, those stores brought in a whopping $308 million in revenue.
Wow,
That's a 30% increase year over year.
that's a huge jump.
It is. And their company-operated shop contribution was $91 million. That's up 24% year over year.
Okay, hold on, back up a second.
Right.
What exactly is company-operated shop contribution?
Yeah, it's essentially a measure of how much profit those company-owned stores are generating.
Okay.
Think of it this way. If each Dutch Bros store was its own little business, this number tells us how healthy those businesses are.
So they're not just growing sales, they're growing profits too.
Exactly. That's a key indicator of a sustainable business model. Now, let's talk about their franchise business.
Okay.
They have a mix of company-operated and franchise locations,
Right.
and the franchise side is also performing well.
So how are those franchise locations doing?
Yeah, in Q3, they brought in $30 million in revenue from franchising,
Okay.
a 7% increase year over year.
So while it's not growing as fast as the company-operated side, it's still a solid piece of the puzzle.
Absolutely. Franchising is a really smart way to scale a business without having to invest as much capital up front.
Right.
The franchisees are the ones putting up the money to open new stores.
Yeah, it's like a win-win.
It is.
Dutch Bros gets to expand their brand, and the franchisees get to be part of a successful business.
Right, but it's not all smooth sailing.
Right.
There are some challenges they're facing on the financial front.
Okay, like what?
Well, labor costs are a big one. Those are going up, particularly in California, where the minimum wage is on the rise.
That makes sense. Labor is a major expense for any restaurant business, so that's something to keep an eye on.
Definitely. They've also experienced higher than expected repair and maintenance costs this quarter.
Yeah.
It kind of comes with the territory when you're opening new stores and expanding as rapidly as they are.
Right. It's like growing pains for a business.
It is.
Right.
But despite these hurdles,
Right.
they're still managing to deliver strong profit.
Okay, so they're making money,
Yes.
but are they holding on to it? Like, what about their cash flow?
That's a great question. Dutch Bros is doing a fantastic job of managing their cash flow during the quarter. They added $20 million in cash to their balance sheet thanks to those strong operations we talked about.
So they're not just profitable on paper, they're actually generating cash.
They are.
That's a reassuring sign for investors.
Yeah.
What about their debt situation? Are they racking up a bunch of debt to fuel this growth?
As of September 30th, they had $281 million in cash and cash equivalents, with only $238 million in outstanding debt.
Wow.
That means they actually have a net cash position,
Okay.
which is incredibly strong. They've been very responsible with their debt, which gives them a lot of financial flexibility going forward.
That's great to hear. It sounds like they're being smart about how they manage their money.
They are now. Let's talk about their capital expenditures, or CapEx for short.
Okay.
This is the money they invest in opening new stores and expanding their footprint.
Right.
They're projecting to spend between $245 and $265 million on CapEx this year.
Okay, so that's a significant chunk of change.
It is, but it's a necessary investment to fuel their growth, and it's important to remember that these investments are paying off. They're seeing strong revenue growth and capturing more of the market.
Right, so it's a long-term play, but it's a smart one.
It is.
It sounds like Dutch Bros is firing on all cylinders. They've got the growth, the customer love, the strong financials, And a solid strategy.
Yeah, they're really firing on all cylinders, but they're not getting complacent.
Right.
They know the challenges, and they're actively working to address them.
That's the sign of a company that's built for the long haul.
It is.
They're not just riding a wave, they're building a solid foundation for the future. But let's be honest, numbers can only tell us so much. What about the people behind the numbers?
Yeah.
Who's steering this ship?
That's a crucial point. You need strong leadership to execute even the best strategy.
Right.
And Dutch Bros has a very experienced and capable team at the helm.
So we've talked a lot about what makes Dutch Bros so successful.
Yeah, their financials, their growth.
But I think it's worth zooming out for a second.
Sure.
And looking at the bigger picture. Like,
The big picture.
what are some of those bigger trends
Right.
that Dutch Bros is tapping into?
Well, what's fascinating is that they're kind of riding multiple waves at once.
Okay.
You've got this increasing desire for convenience, the
Right.
craving for those authentic experiences, and the shift towards ethical consumption. It's like all converging in this one brand.
And they're doing it with a smile, literally.
Right. Those baristas are always so upbeat and positive.
It's true. They're so happy.
That's not an accident.
Right.
It's a carefully crafted part of their brand, and it clearly works.
Yeah.
They've taken something as simple as a coffee run and turned it into this, like, a little mood boost.
Which, let's face it, is something we can all use a little more of these days.
Exactly. On one level, they're selling coffee, but on another, they're selling a little dose of happiness.
And that's something people are willing to pay for,
It is.
especially when it comes with a cool sticker.
Uh-huh. True. But all jokes aside, their success really highlights the power of human connection in a world that can feel increasingly disconnected.
Yeah.
They've managed to create a genuine sense of community both within their company and with their customers.
And that's no easy feat, especially when you're growing as fast as they are.
It's really not.
It's a testament to their leadership,
Huh.
their values, and their commitment to creating that positive and inclusive environment.
Absolutely. They're showing that a company can be profitable and successful
Right.
while also being a force for good in the world.
Yeah, it's not just about the bottom line.
It's not.
It's about something bigger.
It is about creating something meaningful and lasting, not just chasing profits.
And it seems like that's exactly what Dutch Bros is doing.
Yeah, they've built a brand that people genuinely connect with. A brand that stands for something more than just coffee.
Well, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground,
Yeah.
from their financial performance
Uh-huh.
to their food test,
Of course, the food.
to their secret sauce that Dutch love.
It's powerful.
We've explored their challenges
Their strength.
and their overall potential.
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say that Dutch Bros is a company that's on the rise.
I think so, too.
They're doing things right, they're connecting with customers, and they have a very bright future ahead of them.
Absolutely. But, they're not without their risks.
Of course not. No businesses.
They need to navigate a very competitive market,
Right.
manage their growth carefully, and stay true to their values.
All very important.
But if they can do all that,
Yeah.
I think they have the potential to become one of the most iconic brands in the world.
I wouldn't bet against them.
So what's the final takeaway for our listeners today?
Dutch Bros is a company that's doing something special, and they're really just getting started.
Mm-hmm.
It's a story that's still being written,
Yeah.
and it's one we should all be paying attention to.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So keep an eye on Dutch Bros. And let us know what you think. Are they your go-to coffee stop?
Yeah.
What would it take for them to become your morning must-have?
We want to know.
All right, that's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
Stay caffeinated, friends.